The Information Age is a historical period that began in the mid-20th century. Today, we're gonna show you the brief history of the evolution of transmission of information.
This type of symbol emerged in 3000 BC. By about 2800 BC, some of the Sumerian glyphs were being used to represent sound using the Riblos principle. The use of hieroglyphic writing arose from potoliterate symbol system in the early Bronze Age. Around the 32nd century BC, with the first decipherable sentence written in the Egyptian language, oracle bones are pieces of ox specula or turtle plastron which were used for pyromancy, a form of divination in ancient China. A papyrus roll is a material similar to thick paper that was used in ancient time as a writing surface.
During the Qing dynasty, the small writing seal was developed in year 220 BC. In year 100 AD, majority of the books were produced as a codices, not very different from the book that we still use today. Paper was first invented in China during the Han Dynasty around 105 AD by the government worker called Kaila. He developed a way to make a paper by using the bark of trees and rags of cloth.
Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press in Europe. This printing press is built and designed to incorporate movable type and mechanized inking, using his invention to produce the Gutenberg Bible.
Samuel Johnson's Dictionary Standardized English Spelling. It was published on April 15, 1755, that was written by Samuel Johnson. The Library of Congress is the nation's oldest federal cultural institution and served as the research arm of Congress. In 1802, Humphrey Davy invented the first electric lamp. He experimented with electricity and invented an electric battery. In 1824, Peter Rajay introduced the concept of how the brain sees individual images as a sequence of motion. Persistence of vision is the phenomenon of the eye, by which the afterimage is thought to persist. During the 1830s, Babbage devised his so-called analytical engine, a mechanical device designed to combine basic arithmetic operation with decision based on its own computation. In the same year of 1830s, Augusta Lady Byron writes the world's first computer program.
37. Invention of the telegraph in Great Britain and the United States. Samuel Morse invented the first telegraph device. It used a one-wire system, which produced an EKG-like line on ticker tape. The dips in the line had to be decoded into letters and numbers using a dictionary composed by Morse. It is a point-to-point text messaging system used from the 1840s, allowing transmission of information by coded signal over distance. In France, Auguste and Louis Lumière, who manufactured photographic equipment, created their own projector and camera. They projected their motion pictures onto a screen. This meant many people at once could watch a large image. The Dewey Decimal Classification (DDC) system has crossed many milestones. It advanced the organization of library collections to help librarians meet their users' information needs. The Dewey Decimal Classification system is used in most public school libraries. 1877. Edward Muybridge demonstrated high-speed photography. Photographer Edward Muybridge uses high-speed stop-motion photography to capture a horse motion. The photos prove that a horse has all four feet in the air during some parts of its stride. Muybridge developed a way to take photos with an exposure lasting a fraction of a second.
Magnetic recording was demonstrated by the Danish engineer. He was Valdemar Poulsen in 1990, and also he introduced a machine that called telegraphone that may record a speech magnetically on a steel wire. 1902, motion picture special effects were used. George Méliès is a magician turned filmmaker, introduced innovative have and special effects in the first real science fiction film. Audion is electronic detecting or amplifying vacuum tube invented by American electrical engineer Lee De Forest in 1906. It was the first triad that consists of the evacuated glass tube. 1923, television camera tube was invented by Zworykin. Vladimir Kosma Zworykin, American inventor and the father of television, conceived two components key to that invention, the iconoscope and the kinescope.
In 1926 is the first practical sound movie. It is when Western Electrical Company entered into a contract with Warner Brothers and W.J. Rich, a financier, giving them an exclusive license for recording and reproducing sound pictures under the Western Electric system. Now in 1939, regularly scheduled for television broadcasting began in the United States. In April 1939, RCA's National Broadcasting Company introduced regularly scheduled electronic television broadcasting in America. And in 1940s, it is the beginnings of information science as a discipline. Information science studies the application and usage of knowledge in the organizations. And in 1945, Vannevar Bush foresaw the invention of hypertext. Hypertext is text displayed on a computer or other electronic device.
The ENIAC computer, built between 1943 to 1945, the first large-scale computer to run at electronic speed without being slowed by any mechanical parts. It was also the first programmable electronic general-purpose digital computer. Information theory is the mathematical treatment of the concept, parameters, and rules governing the transmission of messages through communication. It was founded by Claude Shannon toward the middle of the 20th century and has since then evolved into a vigorous branch of mathematics, fostering the development of other scientific fields such as 1957, the Flaner transistor was developed by Jean Hoerni, a transistor constructed by an etching and diffusion technique in which the junction is never exposed during the processing. 1958, the first integrated circuit. Few inventions have proven to be as important as the integrated circuit. Integrating individual transistors onto a single circuit, it proved difficult to implement. First conceived in 1952 by Geoffrey Drummer, the first implemented by Jack Kilby on August 28, 1958, Howard bonded three transistors together into what today would be called a system in a package.
MARC or Machine Readable Code standards are set of digital formats for the description of items cataloged by libraries, such as books. Working with the Library of Congress, American computer scientist Henriette Abram developed MARC in the 1960s. Unix as a trademark is a family of multitasking, multi-user computer operating system that derived from the original AT&T. 4004 was the first commercially available computer processor designed and manufactured by chip maker Intel, which had previously made semiconductor memory chips. 1972, optical laserdisc player is demonstrated. MCA and Philips developed laser technology for distributing consumer movies. Laserdiscs offered superior image and sound compared to earlier Betamax and VHS videotape formats.
Hitachi introduced a video disc system in which chrominance, luminance, and sound information are encoded holographically, developed by MCA and the Philips of the Netherlands. It utilizes an optical reflective system read by a laser beam. The ad noted that all boards were plug compatible with the Altair 8800. The computer costs $439 per a kit. The first 50 IMSAI computers shipped in December 1975. In 1977, Tandy's Radio Shack division introduced one of the first personal computers, the TRS-80. It became widely used in small business. It was a major contributor to the personal computer explosion. The first Macintosh was introduced on January 24, 1984 by Steve Jobs, and it was the commercially successful personal computer to future to known.
Mid-1980s, artificial intelligence was separate from information science.
Wabot 2 was built at Waseda University. This inception of the Wabot allowed the humanoid to communicate with people, as well as read musical scores and play music on an electronic organ.
1987, HyperCard was developed by Bill Atkinson Recipe Box Metaphor.
HyperCard is a software program that can be used to alter an application of the user's design. At the time of introduction, it was a software application in a genre all of its own. Apple described it as a hypermedia program or construction kit. The metaphor of a Meccano kit was used. It was written by Bill Atkinson and released with the System 6 Macintosh operating system.
In 1991, 450 complete works of literature on one CD-ROM was released.
CD-ROM drives are read by optical means and use laser beams to read binary digital data that is encoded on little bits on the optical disc. The drive gives the data to a computer, which then processes it.
In January 1997, RSA encryption and network security software Internet Security Code cracked for a 48-bit number.
Code breaking was part of a contest sponsored by RSA Data Security, which holds a dominant share of the encryption toolkit market, part mathematical challenge and part marketing campaign. The competition urged contestants to crack various strands of RSA's algorithms